They call it the people's mandate because they want it to be different from other people's mandates. So what is it that we're going to be discussing? We're going to be discussing the things that MK has said they want to deliver. So finally, we've got a document, unlike this one that I'm first showing you here, because they are what they used to circulate, but it wasn't official. Now we are now dealing with documents that are official from MK. The document is out there for people to peruse. So let me just tell you what you are going to get here. Number one, let me start with mandatory African language from grade 0 to matric and tertiary. This is what you're going to get: mandatory African language, land without compensation, of course, the Reserve Bank and other commercial banks, scrap the 1996 constitution. I'm going to talk about the borders, or wall or not. They're going to talk about the provinces from 9 to 4, change into the provincial borders, move away from the current BEE system, and of course, they reverse the OOC deal for privatisation, traditional consultation because users are 80%, school, eat, breakfast, lunch, and after school, free education for all. They're going to talk about taxis. They're going to use the taxis in government. And the SAPS is going to deal with GBV. So what is this mandate? So the first pillar, they are using pillars. This is the first pillar they're going to talk about is the indigenous language. They're going to be mandatory, and to ensure that national culture and affirm the African heritage. So this is what they're going to be dealing with. They centralize a lot of things like land disposition of African tribe, deprive the indigenous people. And in terms of land, of course, there's expropriation of land without compensation. They want to provide financial aid for all those new settled farmers who are starting. The nationalized strategic mining firms to regulate the private capital participation resources. So you will see, like I said, they're going to have pillars. They've got about 8 pillars. So this is pillar number 3. They're talking about the colonial funded Roman Dutch law. This pillar talks about how they're going to change the jurisprudence of South Africa and how it's going to be run. The South African state political protects the interests of white monopoly capital, and the mass African working people are powerless over the state. So one of the things that they've been claiming, especially when Zuma loses court cases, is the fact that this Roman Dutch law doesn't favor African people. So this on pillar number 3, they're going to reclaim the people's power using those things. The unitary state to a federal. They are talking about the provinces of South Africa because there are people who are underway. So these are talking about Cape Town. And you see there are some also in KZN who are using this. There's a case in point of a mayor who's receiving motion of no confidence because he wants to make KwaZulu-Natal a state in itself. So they're talking about that. On macroeconomic policy, this is what they promise they will do. They respect the labor laws, hard-won rights to ensure. So this is the Labor Relations Act. The accumulative foreign reserve and setup of sovereign wealth fund. They're talking about big English names. I was hoping that some of this will be toned down a bit, because I'm not strong with these big jargons and I don't want to over-translate something that is not there. One thing big here is they're going to nationalize the South African Reserve Bank and reconstitute all that is strong to development focus. And they're also talking about the PIC. That's the PIC and the Development Bank of South Africa. They're talking about those as well, where they're going to make sure that they use it to empower our African people. They're going to eliminate the foreign direct investment. But you'll see this is a bit of a contradictory in terms, because if you look forward, they're somewhere where they rely on the foreign direct investment. The coal terminal, they want 100% ownership, and they do not want all those, those SOEs that Ramaphosa have made. They want to review all of those and repeal all those privatization clauses. They want to bring South Africa SAA back, and so the Takato deal is going to fall through. They want also, they're also talking about scrapping the current national rail policy, which favors private capital. So they're going to overhaul a lot of things here. They accelerate nuclear the nuclear deal, and of course emphasize coal if they win. And but a lot of these, they do emphasize, of course, that they're going to use the 2/3 majority that they have in their disposal. They're going to aggressively pursue the strategy of special economic zones to reignite small towns and rural economies. So this, you'll see in, they are going to talk about the Moloto concession road until Suskukune. So that road, when they do that, is going to aggressively do special economic zone, just to make sure that not everyone runs to Gauteng for stuff, because once they do that, and they are going to move away from the current model of black economic empowerment, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So because it's not specific now, it will be best to hear how they unpack this, because they want to centralize it for women and youth. I don't know if the current deal doesn't do that. Is it the implementation or is it the law? They're talking about the human capital, so they've been marginalized since 1652. So here they're throwing stones at white people. The education policy, free and fair compulsory education from kindergarten to postgraduate education. So from crash until postgraduate, you are going to get free education, and they're going to build new universities for certain reasons that could not get. They're going to address issues like depression, pregnancy, and suicide for teenagers. One of the things is breakfast, lunch, and preschool meal for all children. So you would understand that this is at the heart of the poor and the downtrodden people in certain areas, but they are talking about they're going to make it for everyone. They're going to make it mandatory for people to go to school, of which that's what the Bella Bill is doing. They're going to protect the rights of traditional African healthcare practitioners, like your 27 healthcare week. So they want to make sure that these things, the ambulances, everything is resourced for all those hours, 24 hours, and let's just talk the monies. In line with the 1,158 to those who are eligible to work. So everyone is going to get to be employed if they want to be employed. The food poverty line of 750, they're going to increase the child support there. And the disability grant for minimum wage of 4,500. The well-resourced shelters for the homeless, and so they're going to create shelters for homeless people. This has been done. I've seen it in the USA been done. So I don't know how they're going to do it in South Africa, but they're going to create it. They're going to reclaim our spaces. So the public transport system is not redesigned to tackle the special inequalities. So what are they going to do? They're going to establish a state construction company. So this will be to replace the BEEs, because the state construction company will be doing like housing projects and everything, and offer mixed income housing, integrated diverse economies. So this is make special places. And this is the most important one. Establish a state-owned fund to finance the taxi industry. So this is the influence of the taxi industries into the MK. They're talking about they're gonna the rapid bus system. They're gonna remodel it to suit the townships. I believe it's still doing that. Besides recapitalizing Prasa, just look at the efforts they are making for the taxi industry. The taxi industries will not work the same way that work. That's the Moloto rail corridor that I was talking about. They are going to centralize. This manifesto looks very good on paper. Maybe most manifestos do look like they are brilliant on paper. The implementation might be in doubt, but I'm loving this manifesto, the way it talks about the issues that people are crying about. It's been a long time ANC has promised this Moloto rail corridor. It goes through Siabuswa. And then, what is it that they're going to do? Crime and intelligence, thereby mixing the crime intelligence with SAPS. So what SAPS does is I think they say there's a distance between SAPS and crime intelligence. That's why people are struggling in Juguleni in Soshanguve. Recapitalize the NEL and AMSCO to drive the state-to-state military cooperation with BRICS. he leans a lot on BRICS. There's a lot of leaning back to what BRICS has done, and they don't even hide it. They're talking about Cuba, Russia, and Palestine as their strategic partners. You could see the historical contribution of Cuba and Russia, the whole significance to our narrative. They're not mincing their words here with what they are doing. So that's pillar number 8. So all these pillars, you'd understand they are talking about. It's almost similar to what the EFF has been doing. The current government seems intent on destroying the tradable sector and reducing certain things from the previous. Another point here, withdraw from the weaponized International Criminal Court. BRICS countries to explore alternative current and international settlement mechanism. So when they withdraw from International Criminal Court, it's another problematic one, because they do not want to lean too much on this, because as we speak, Nhlamulo says they are going to international the human rights, so they are going out to go and seek not really validation, but assistance from other international companies to assist them with precisely this thing of being marginalized in their own country, of which it will be overreach if they do that. But the people's mandate, that is, what is this? So they're talking about blockchain technology. You might want to pause this every time you go, just so you could fully understand this. But I want to tell you that the manifesto is clearly available online. You can go and see it. And this time, what I like about it is it's no longer a rumor, unlike the other slide that I've done. So this is not a rumor. This is a thing that they want to do. They talking about South Africans who use traditional healers who are over 10. They said 80% of South Africans use traditional healers, and he leans a lot on that. He leans a lot on what the traditional healers are going to do, and on retaining our dignity. He's also talking about the traditional healers. So another sphere of government is coming, where traditional healers, not traditional healers, the traditional leaders, the traditional rulers, your donors and stuff, they're going to have a layer of government to come and rule over you. Of course, all of this, like I said, it depends on the two-thirds majority if they get it or don't get it. The similarities between their pillars and the pillars of the EFF is the strategic sectors of the economy. They are going to be merged. And of course, what they are going to do as well is they are going to make sure that you get, what is this? They call it breakfast, lunch, and after school meal. So Nyaupe, they've got issues on Nyaupe, and there they are. It's a very tricky one on Nyaupe. I don't know how they're gonna make it, but like I said, please just go through it and tell us what you feel from the little that you have heard. Maybe the interest will be on others, but please just tell me what you feel. So that is MK Party for you. Thank you very much.